Hey guys, my name is Anthony, and in today's video we're going to be doing episode 3 or 4, I think 4, of my team series, or whichever episode it is. You may be wondering what happened to the Vietnam GP, and here's a little clip to show you. So yeah, as you can see, you saw me talking in the mic on the camera, but you didn't actually hear me, and that's because for the entire race I didn't realize I didn't have my mic turned on, and this was when I was using the Elgato software. And yeah, I didn't really want to showcase just me talking to myself essentially for a good hour, so I decided to scrap that, and I'll just tell you guys what happened. So think if we go into the standings here, yeah, so as you can see, we're still in 9th place with 0 points. We didn't get any points in the last race. It was pretty much a carbon copy of the previous result, where I qualified in 17th and finished in 12th. So yeah, it's pretty much just a carbon copy of that. So that's another reason not to show it, because nothing different really happened. However, at the end we did do a few things. We've got a new sponsor, Novus I should say, and this sponsor just wants us to complete 30 laps during practice. Basically the reason why I chose these over any of the others is because some of the others were, you had to do a lot of overtaking, or you had to get points, and I just don't feel the team is at the point where we can do a lot of overtaking. Well, the amount of overtaking that some of these sponsors were sort of looking at, and also in regards to points, yeah, I don't see us getting many points right now. But that's pretty much all we've done. As you can see, the engine is pretty worn. In the previous race we suffered a lot with our gearbox and stuff like that, so I am probably going to use a new one now, meaning that we will get a penalty. So wherever we qualify is not where we're gonna start. The event gearbox is just too worn, so we're just gonna have to suck it up and take the penalty, really. And some of the power engine components, like for example the ICE, is pretty worn at this moment. It's at 55. No, sorry, it's at 72, and then the rest is sort of within the 50s. So gonna have to use the second version of the ICE. That's about it, really. That's all we've really done. We did do some activities, we can't really see that now, so we're just gonna get straight into the weekend and see what we can do. So as you guys know how these series work, I'll do the practice stuff, showcase that over one lap, and then we'll move on to qualifying and the race. So I'll see you guys at qualifying. So yeah, as you can see now, we're in practice, doing some of the practice programs, and honestly it went pretty well. The car felt pretty nice actually. I didn't really feel as if the car felt worse than it usually does. Like for example, at Australia the car felt really bad. I know we've had, I think, an upgrade since then, but I mean the car felt really bad in Australia, and that was even before I had started the race and found out that we had the damage on the wing there. But yeah, we had a new sponsor that wanted us to complete 30 laps during practice, and I thought that we did. I thought that I'd completed enough for my teammate to sort of pick up the slack, but it seems not likely, because we only ended up doing 23 laps of practice. So yeah, for the next race I'm definitely going to have to get that sorted, even if I do all 30 practice laps myself, just to make sure that we actually get the weekly bonus, because that would be a big help for just the team in general, really. I think it's on 100k or 150k that they're giving us if we complete the target, but I mean 150k is 150k. So yeah, as you can see now, we're doing the qualifying program, and yeah, we're actually up another time that we're actually doing the qualifying program, and we are doing well. So yeah, I'm happy with that. It means that the car is, finding itself within the grid, it's finding its pace. And we were doing the race strategy one, I believe. I was just doing that for the race, for the resource points, really, because it really doesn't matter when it comes to the strategy. But yeah, as we sort of complete that now, we move on to qualifying, and the first lap was okay, but as you can see, going into turn 1, we went super wide and really had to try and spend the entire, rest of the first corner sort of trying to make up time as much as we could. So it was pretty bad, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, no, the rest of the lap was pretty good. I think we cut off here somewhere. Yeah, we cut off to the end of the lap now, where we brake at the 50-meter board, turn in at the 50-meter board, as I said in my beginner track guide at China, and we did a 132.4, I believe, for that first lap, which was pretty good, and then this pretty good for a banker anyway. And then the second lap, as you can see, we were up, but we went slightly wide, and we ended up invalidating the lap. I did finish it off, and we finished about 4 tenths quicker, but as you can see now, as I'm letting the Red Bull and the first McLaren pass us, this was our third and final lap in qualifying, and it was our best one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the lap here and let you guys see what a lap at China looks like.
Seconds left in the session.
So yeah, as we pass the penultimate corner and come to the final corner of the lap now, we open up DRS and we pass the line, and I believe we came in P12, but we did have a 5-place grid penalty because of the engine component changes there, and as you can see, that's the final results of quali there. So I'm going to leave you guys here and we're going to get into the race so that you can see exactly what happened in this amazing race.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before the braking zone of turn 14. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you got your own race to run. I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Bottas, Alexander Albon, and Ricciardo, Hamilton, Norris, Ocon, and Carlos Sainz, Perez, Raikkonen, Pierre Gasly, and Grosjean. King, they've taken a grid penalty. Kvyat, George Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Sette Camara, Magnussen, Stroll, and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time.
Okay guys, so as you can see from the sort of intro into the race, we're starting in P15. We did take a 5th-place grid penalty, however other drivers also got grid place penalties, so that means we're starting in P15. We qualified in P12, so you know that's pretty good. I'm definitely gonna up the AI for the next race, and I've also decided to turn down the actual length of the race as well. The reason why I'm doing that is because honestly I don't have a lot of time, especially when I want to create other types of content, to really be doing 50% races all the time. So I'd rather just do 25% races, get it over and done with, get the action of the race, and then sort of go from there. I know that that's sort of going to disrupt the sort of excitement of the pit stop strategy, because obviously when it's a 25% race, it's pretty much a guaranteed 1-stop instead of maybe some people going for a 2-stop and some people going for a 1-stop. But for now, it's just going to be 25% from the race after this. If I do have extra time, maybe later on down the line, then I'll go back to 50% race. But for us, it's just going to be a classic mediums to hards here today. I'm going to sort of put a little bit more fuel in just in case I may need it. Actually, you know what, I forgot it was raining, so I'm not going to put as much in. I'll go with a lap extra because it's going to be raining towards the end of the race, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully that could maybe give us a few extra positions. Maybe our car might not be as quick in, you know, dry conditions, but in wet conditions we might be able to do pretty well. So let's get into this and see if we can maybe cause some disruption amongst the point finishers today. Alright, got 5 lights, and we're off. That was a decent start. Go around the outside maybe of some of these cars. Oh, made a few positions there. Oh, that was a nice hold from Perez there. Held it around the outside pretty nicely. Gonna dive down his inside though. A little bit of contact with Sainz. Because of that, Perez managed to get back in front of us. Oh, that dirty, yeah. Well, we've made up a few positions. That's a good start. I'm pretty happy with this so far. Just need to keep our head down, hopefully, and keep up the pace. Wait a second. Oh no. I think the weather forecast was really wrong. Because they said there wouldn't be any rain until the end of the race, but it looks like there's going to be rain now. So that's going to make things very interesting. Okay, so it's been a couple of laps now. Lap 3 now, so DRS is in effect here. I think Gasly does have DRS on us. It's still not wet enough to really change things, but I'm hoping over the next couple of laps that the track really starts to wet up here. I'm not really sure how much it's going to be raining or how long it's going to be raining for. Might have to quickly check the weather here, forecast.
This rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Oh, we go really wide there. Okay, so I compromised my line through those 2 corners, but I think we managed to save it. But alright, shut up, Jeff. Right, so Jeff was saying that in terms of the weather, we're looking at light rain for the foreseeable future. I'm not sure if that means intermediate light rain or dry condition light rain. I think it's going to be dry for a good few laps, so I really am hoping it gets wetter soon though, because I would like to see how we fare against the AI in wet conditions in this car. And the front runners are all boxing for hard tyres, so I'm not sure what's going on here. Then again, the softs don't really last a very long time around here, so I guess they were forced to sort of pit for extra slicks, because it is still not wet enough, even though I'm sliding around here, as you can see.
Light rain will stay with us for at
I'm not really gonna believe you, Jeff, because I was told that this wasn't gonna rain at this Grand Prix until the end of the race. And yet we're at lap 7 of 28 and it's been raining for about, well, 7 laps. Yellow flag behind us, I'm not sure what's going on here. Daniel Ricciardo out of this GP, his first retirement. Doesn't look like there's going to be a safety car.
Okay, clear.
Oh, and Pierre Gasly. I don't know what happened there, maybe they had a crash. Okay, so that's interesting. So Pierre Gasly, who was just behind us, and Daniel Ricciardo, who I'm not sure what position he was in, but they've both retired, so I'm not sure if maybe they had a bit of contact there and ended up crashing into each other, or they just happened to retire at the same time. But either way, that's given me quite a big, well, not quite a big, but quite a substantial lead on Vettel, so hopefully we can hold that. You can definitely tell that the track's getting wet, but the car still feels relatively good. I'm generally surprised that it's not ready for intermediates yet. It's been raining for about 12 laps. I don't think I've ever gone this long in wet conditions and it's not been wet enough to go on intermediates. So this is definitely a first. Oh, that is beautiful. Perfect timing. If it's time to go in for the intermediates right about now, when we were supposed to pit anyway. Let's just double check.
Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Jeff says Dries is the fastest tyre right now, but he also said it could be time. Okay, we'll see what Perez does. If he stays out, I'll stay out. If he goes in, I'll go in. Oh, actually I'm going to go in. I'm going to do what Vettel does. Might have just ruined our race here, guys, but I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see.
Go, go, go.
Vettel went on the mediums.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Oh, these feel nice. It has to be intermediate conditions right now. Surely. There's so much grip in these. There it is, guys. DRS is disabled. So that's fully confirming it now.
By the stewards, DRS will be offline.
Oh my god. What perfect timing for my DRS to go offline. The DRS was just disabled and then my DRS breaks. But yes, guys, you're actually seeing this. In a car that's one of the worst on the grid because of the conditions and because of our driving, we are actually in P2 battling Verstappen for a podium position here. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It feels pretty nice that we're battling for points already. The engine is looking really warm though. Verstappen's a lot faster than me, so he probably will pass me very soon. I'm a little disappointed by this, because I'll probably show it right about now if I've still got the footage. But yeah, I had the chance to go for a sponsor and their conditions was to lead the race for 4 laps. I don't think we're going to lead this race for 4 laps, but the fact that we're in the lead anyway, you know, there's a lot. And with dirty air, Max can only really probably pass me unless I do that. He can only really pass me on that straight that we're about to come up to. Oh, this is a nice little fight for the lead here with Verstappen. I'm concentrating a lot in this one. I do want to get a huge amount of points. This will be big for the team. Oh, Verstappen on the inside there. I think we made contact. Oh, I think he spun out. It was aggressive on his part, but at the same time I did leave the room, so I did leave the room for him to go on the inside, so I'm not sure if that was my fault or not. I'm really not sure if that's my fault or not. Maybe you guys in the comments can tell me if it was my fault. As I said, it was a bit of an aggressive move, but at the same time I left the space, and because of that little incident there, if we can hold on to this position for the next 8 laps, we will have won our first GP, as I said, as I slide around like a maniac.
We're still on the right time for the time being, but we're not a million miles away from slick conditions.
Okay, so it looks like I may have been right. The weather forecast said there would be rain at the end of the race and not the beginning. However, it started raining at the beginning and looks like it's going to be dry at the end. You need to be careful because Verstappen's only 5 seconds away and he is pretty quick in these conditions.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining. This is your final lap of the race.
This race has been absolutely incredible. Our car, which is practically one of the worst on the grid because of the conditions and because of my driving, I've been able to claw it up to 2nd place. We couldn't keep Bottas ahead of us from passing us, but it seems as if we're managing to keep Verstappen behind us. And honestly, considering this is only what, the 4th race, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, even if we can't get 2nd place here, I'm gonna try my best. Even if we can't get 2nd place, we're still on the podium, which is incredible. So you guys, you have to hit the like button for this incredible drive, really. That's all I could really say. Gonna try and use overtake until we get to about 1% here, just to try and stay in front of Verstappen. Looks like we've done it. And there you go, there's Valtteri Bottas crossing the line as he takes the Chinese Grand Prix, as we, in one of the worst cars on the grid, come home for a P2 finish.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Okay guys, so as you can see, Valtteri Bottas takes the Chinese Grand Prix and we come home for a P2 finish in one of the worst cars on the grid. This race, China always delivers, it seems, and then we've got Max Verstappen rounding off the podium. Then we've got Charles Leclerc, Alex Albon, Sebastian Vettel, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Perez, Lance Stroll, Carlos Sainz, Antonio Giovinazzi. Then we've got Esteban Ocon, Norris, Magnussen, Sete Camara, who finished in P16, which I believe is his best finish for the team so far, so not necessarily that good. Then we've got Latifi, Lewis Hamilton with probably one of the worst races I've ever seen his AI ever have, coming P18, Romain Grosjean, and then we have George Russell as our final finisher, with Pierre Gasly and Daniel Ricciardo DNFing. I'm not sure what happened to Gasly and Ricciardo, so that's pretty interesting. I might have to look through the replay as we finish here, just to check what happened with them. But let's look at the Constructors Championship. Here we go. Valtteri Bottas is flying away now. His main contender was Lewis Hamilton, I believe, but with his poor finish, Leclerc and Vettel managed to overtake him. Then we've got Verstappen, Albon, and then we are in P7 with our first points finish. And then we've got Perez, Carlos Sainz, Kvyat, Ocon, Stroll, Norris, Raikkonen, Gasly, Ricciardo, and Grosjean being the last person with points. And then we've got Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Sete Camara, Latifi, and George Russell with no points. So let's look at where we are now. We are in 6th place, overtaking AlphaTauri after that 2nd place. Williams still has no points. They're the only team to not gain a single point now. That's pretty good for us, considering that George Russell is our rival now. Let's see where... Okay, so Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes, they're pretty much where they should be. Racing Point's actually in 4th place. I'm surprised that they've managed to overtake McLaren. They've got the same points, which means I'm guessing that Racing Point has had higher finishes than McLaren. And that's about it really, guys. So what we're going to do is I'm probably going to look at the replay just to see what happened between Pierre Gasly and Daniel Ricciardo. But the next time I see you guys will be at the back end at headquarters. So yeah, pretty excited. We did make a power engine component upgrade. So if we get any more R&D points, I think we're going to hold on to them because we can't really upgrade anything else at the moment. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys soon.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. How's your grid penalty going to affect your strategy going into the race?
Well, Claire, I'm not really sure why you're asking me this question when the race is already finished, but going into the race with the grid penalty, after finding out that I was in 15th place, I was a little bit happy because that meant that other people had their grid penalties, and the fact that it started raining pretty early on was pretty good for us. As you can see, we ended up in 2nd place. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. Feels as if the grid penalty didn't really affect us all that much, really.
cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Really and truly, it was the weather strategy actually. With the weather strategy coming in pretty early on, I didn't expect it to rain at the beginning because I was told that it was going to be raining towards the end. So I'm pretty happy that it started raining early on. It did give us a huge advantage, especially since some of the guys did pit for extra slicks. It meant that they did an extra pit stop, which allowed us to really build up that gap that really paid off at the end of the race, as the other cars tried to catch up but couldn't really.
Everything went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race.
Yeah, it wasn't just a good strategy in my honest opinion, it was just luck with the rain, but I definitely feel as if the car was working pretty well for us, and with my driving being on point today, combined with the rain, it really did help us, and I definitely think that the podium finish was definitely deserved.
It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it?
Yeah, expectations, you get expectations from your fans, you get expectations from management, and really and truly when it comes to this Formula 1 team that I'm building, I am the harshest critic on the team, and honestly I feel as if I'm smashing my own expectations, especially with this podium finish. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the amount of effort that we're putting in.
Appreciate your time.
Okay guys, so we're at the headquarters now. Dutch Grand Prix is next, and we've got a few things coming up, but as you can see on the right hand side, one or more fitted vehicle components has excessive wear, so that means we're gonna have to go into the vehicle. As you can see, yeah, our engine's not really looking too good. It's pretty bad, so I'm actually gonna have to move over to the second engine components that we have. Not necessarily for the energy store just yet, but for everything else, practically, yeah. Okay, so we've done that. And as you can see on the right hand side at the top, I'll probably zoom in post-production, because we've got $4.56 million now to the team. This is pretty good. I think that means we can actually afford to upgrade one of our facilities. So I might have to go ahead and do that. But first, let's check our R&D. Yeah, as you can see, here is the power engine component that I upgraded. We did the ignition system. That's pretty much the only upgrade we can do for the engine right now. And we've reached our department capacity here, so we can't really do any upgrades, any further upgrades I should say, for that. But for the chassis, I cannot speak right now, we can do an extra upgrade now. So let's see, we've got the ERS essentially, and the rear floor under tray. So which one gives us the biggest boost here? Roughly about the same, but I think the energy store does give us a little bit extra. So I think we're gonna go with that one just to maximize the amount of points that we're using. And then we'll just keep everything else there. So let's look at the facilities now and see if we can maybe upgrade one of them. We're not going to upgrade the powertrain because, I mean, that's already at spec 1, so we might as well upgrade some of the other stuff. I think we're actually going to focus on the durability, because when it comes to the durability of the car, it's pretty bad right now. So if we can maybe do some extra work here at the facility for the durability of the car, I definitely feel we won't have to worry about that soon enough. We'll go with the fabrication. There we go, we can expect that upgrade to come through on the 25th of April. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think, actually, if you look at our simulator there, it's actually pretty similar to my simulator here. So we've got the what looks like the Thrustmaster T3 PA pedals, which is the exact ones that I have. And it looks like he's using the Thrustmaster wheel, which is exactly what I'm using here. So yeah, pretty similar to my own setup in real life, but we're going to have to upgrade that soon. Hopefully we can get some Fanatec gear going there. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I'm going to go off camera and do some of the stuff that's needed here. When it comes to our new sponsor, we're going to have to actually do 30 laps of practice. I thought that it would be 30 laps as a team. It says as a team there, but I mean, we apparently only did 23 laps of practice, so I'm not sure. But yeah, if you liked this episode of my team, then please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more of these. Can't believe that this race even happened, but hopefully we get more exciting races like that in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.